And hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Stuart and welcome to episode 7 of my modern day WWE save on TW 2020. Obviously this is the last Smackdown before the Royal Rumble. Obviously we've just come back from doing Raw, the last Raw before Royal Rumble. But yeah, I've kind of stacked this last Smackdown with a lot of big matches. We've got a #1 contendership for the Smackdown Tag Team Championships. We've got a triple threat with the Usos going against Angel Garza and Mustafa Ali and the Raw Raiders. We also have a WWE Smackdown Women's Championship match with Charlotte defending against Naomi. And we have, for the kind of end of the show, we have Cesaro, #1 contender, Roman Reigns, Universal Champion, contract signing to end the show. But a lot of awesome stuff. I think this, I'm happy with this. It's going to, before I have booked it beforehand, I think it's going to be a very good show. It's got potential to be one of the best shows we've done so far. I think I'm looking forward. I think I'm really excited to see where this goes. So yes, obviously before we start, if you liked the show so far, please like and subscribe. That'd be freaking amazing. If you haven't watched last week's show, link for that will be on top, as you know, on the side of there or there. So check that out, and obviously leave a comment as well. Obviously, again, keep getting really cool comments that people enjoy and say that again makes me very happy if you are enjoying it. So yeah, so let's get this started. So the last Smackdown before Royal Rumble, so it should be good. So let's dive straight into it. So yeah, so we start off with Drew McIntyre. Obviously he's on a roll recently. Obviously he was in the main event last week, obviously with Cesaro going against obviously the Usos. Obviously that they won. Obviously check that out when you want. But yeah, so 48 to start off the show. Pretty good stuff here. Obviously we've got Drew McIntyre kind of in the ring talking about basically what Cesaro said last week and what he's kind of been messages he said last week on the show. It's very true that Roman needs to be stopped and fighting, and with fighting with Cesaro last week, it kind of made him think that this show needs to be better. So he's going to do his part by winning the Royal Rumble. Either facing Cesaro or Roman Reigns, whoever it is, he's finally going to get his WrestleMania moment and he's finally become world champion. Win the world title in front of fans. So Drew's basically like, to put his intent, he's going to win the Royal Rumble. That's his intent, that's his goal. But obviously then Sheamus comes out saying, give me a break. You're not doing well. Your career hasn't gone according to plan. It's not because of bad luck. It's because you're a loser, and you'll never get your moment because winners will. And this show, and you say this show is bad. I mean, I don't think it's bad. I don't think I'm doing it extremely well. So maybe it's not the show. Maybe it's you, type of situation. So it's kind of but then obviously Drew's like, okay. And so I mean, so Sheamus kind of goes afterwards and goes, yeah, I've got to, you want me, get out of my ring type situation. And then Drew's like, oh, make me type situation. And if you want to, face me in a match and beat the hell out of me and see if you can try and force me out of this ring. And yeah, kind of sets up the opening contest. We're going to have Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. Obviously this is the match we had previously. So, and obviously Drew won most of it, but will Drew still keep his momentum up going into the Royal Rumble, or will Sheamus get a very huge win for his career and start his momentum into the Royal Rumble match? We'll find out next, and the answer to that question is, for 51, Drew hits a Claymore kick on Sheamus for the win. Yes, obviously for, was it 57 by Drew, very good for him. Obviously 40 from Sheamus. You could sit there and say it's a fair result. I would say I expected it better, but yeah, good stuff here. Obviously I've tried to put this match as a kind of, they know each other very well, so they both hit their finishes and they both kick out of it. They kind of prove a point that kind of, okay, they know each other very well. But it kind of it ends, it says Claymore, but I kind of like the idea it ends with a roll up type of situation where it's like, yeah, they can't hit their finishes, so a bit of sneakiness has to work. So yeah, gets the win here, so momentum to Drew. But after the match, Sheamus isn't very happy that he lost the way he did, so he goes to the outside while Drew is celebrating, grabs a chair and hits him hits him in the back, and while multiple shots at the back of Drew. Obviously, we know that could that affect going into the Royal Rumble, that kind of injury, maybe. But Sheamus kind of gets by a speaker saying, "You will never be champion, and I'm going to make sure of it at the Royal Rumble." So, looks like I don't want to use the old expression, he's got a target on his back, because he's literally got a steel chair to the back. But Sheamus is, basically, Drew's got to watch out Sheamus in the Royal Rumble, because he's gunning for him, so he might find a way to try and eliminate him. Maybe not, we don't know, but yeah, it goes into a pretty solid start to the show, pretty decent. So obviously after that obviously we're talking about Royal Rumbles and WWE Universal Championship opportunities. Obviously we're going to have to hear perform the Bloodline, and of course Roman Reigns kind of informing, kind of like, it's not a backstage interview, it's kind of more like to the Usos and to everyone in the group, like, this is a huge night for us, this huge couple of days for 69, very good here, and I don't know why Paul Heyman's in that. Maybe I keep forgetting that. I keep doing it again. I think maybe I keep forgetting that Paul Heyman's not with Roman Reigns yet. I think I forget, because obviously we watch enough of. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But it's fine. We should just put Roman Reigns here. But basically, it was when Paul Heyman's not in it. But the way I want to go for it is basically like talking to the Bloodline, talking about how that, this is a big night for a couple of days. We need to prove, like, we keep telling we're great. We need to prove it again. So, and obviously looks at the usual saying, you better win tonight in this number one contendership match for the tag team titles. You better win. And kind of, and then kind of says to Cesaro, like, yeah, you talk a big game, but it's not going to work. And I'm still going to be champion at the end of it. So, yeah, that kind of stuff. And you're not going to take this title away from me. And yeah, and I like the idea that basically looks at the Usos kind of going like a look of, you better win. Like, if he doesn't, there'll be hell to pay type situation. But the 6 down there, I probably putting them two together would be a weird one to do. Maybe it shows why they work well together in real life. But obviously after that, we've obviously talking about kind of working well together. But someone that's not having, you thought was on the right turn, but then life is cruel that way. It's not working out for Happy Corbin. Obviously, next. Sadly, someone, he won all that money from Sami Zayn last week, but this week he gets robbed for 51. Yeah, obviously we're back to Happy Corbin, cocky Corbin. But if it's one thing you know about, I like he won the money back, but he's a constant gambler and an addict. So, and he can't just fix that by just one fix. So, it's a situation of, obviously, he's backstage. A masked person attacks him, takes his money away from him, that Sami Zayn did. Because obviously, I'm assuming he's still in debt. I mean, I guess that money probably doesn't scratch the surface of the kind of debt he's in. But, yeah, and then obviously he takes the money, and obviously Corbin gets up and he's like devastated again, because, yeah, he's like he had that money, thought he was to turn around, and yet again got robbed, lost his money, so he's back to square one. So you're saying about a desperate man would do anything when he's desperate. So a desperate man is a dangerous man. So interesting to see what Corbin does now. Obviously the questions are like, who are these people attacking him, threatening him, like asking for his money? Who are these people? Like who does he owe money to? So it's one of those things, but obviously we'll find out next couple of weeks. Hopefully, we'll find out next couple of weeks. It's an interesting story. I like it. I think best Corbin was the sad Corbin, because it felt like actually was just a character and not just a caricature of, like, I'm just a bad guy. It's like he had some kind of layers to it that I think Corbin would have needed. So this is why I'm doing it this way, because I think it's the best version of him. But obviously next we have talking about winning, being on top. Obviously now we're going to talk about a number one contendership match for the WWE Smackdown Tag Team Championships. We've obviously we know the Usos are going to be involved. We know the War Raiders are going to be involved. We know Angel Garza and Mustafa Ali are going to be involved. So the question is, who's going to become number one contender for those New Day Smackdown Tag Team Championships? Well, I guess we're going to find out. Are we going to get new challenges, or are we going to get the same old challenges? And the answer to that question is, the winner and new number one contender for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships is, for 42, the Usos with, I mean, no surprise here. I mean, we all kind of knew this was coming, because the Usos, The only ones that could be challenged the New Day at the moment. It's kind of the reason why they've kind of continued that kind of feud. But yes, obviously the high score here was obviously it was Jey Uso for 47. All very similar here. Obviously 46 by the Usos. Was it 29? Angel Garza's a lower scoring, but yeah, for what it was pretty good. 42. Happy with that. As you can see, great chemistry by the Usos and great tag team specialist. But yeah, I mean, this match I think would be a very high paced, very good match going into it. But the way I've kind of done this is it's a great match. All three teams showing what they can do. Then it kind of ends with Raw Raiders hitting their finisher. I don't know what their finisher is off the top of my head. And the Usos, and then just when they're Raw Raiders. Finally, it looks like they're going to get the win. I know it's Viking Raiders, but I'm calling them War Raiders because that's a better name. But just about to get the pin, but the Usos does a splash for the top. They pull them off, gets the pin, gets the win, steals the win, as you say. And yeah, new number one contenders. One thing we must point out is obviously the New Day are watching on commentary on the side. So after they win, they go straight up to the New Day, because they confront him saying them titles are going to be ours again. We're going to win those titles back whenever that match happens. But then after that, they don't mess around, and then we got a brawl coming. Then we have a brawl to both of them on the outside, and yeah, for a 43, back and forth brawl. But what way I like here was obviously ends with kind of they're attacking the announce table. They're pulling stuff off the announce table. Then he takes out King Woods. And then puts Kofi on top of the table. And then you got, Jay? Jay goes top, hits the Uso splash onto King. Kofi Kingston? And breaks the table. And yeah, so the Usos have got the upper hand. Could this be a start of the back to the top of the pinnacle of SmackDown Tag Team Division? So yeah, so big statement there by the Usos. Hopefully that's a match, possibly what happened, more likely going to happen in the next couple of weeks. Once it's going to be a SmackDown title defense. But yeah, so obviously talking about tag teams as well. Obviously last week we had a possible new tag team coming together. Obviously we talked about the Drew Gulak. Obviously got a big win against Sami Zayn to be in the Royal Rumble this year. So he's very confident. So he offered Ricochet. Saw that maybe if the team, they can do better. Maybe they can accomplish great things. But obviously we hear from Ricochet for a 42, very good here. Struggling off the specs. Pritchard's not good with Road Agent. Got to think about it next time, but that's fine. 42, you expect it from these two. It's actually better than I expected, actually. But yeah, pretty simple here. Obviously, that goes up to Ricochet. Said, "Have you made your decision yet?" Ricochet's gone, "I'm not sure. I need time to think about it." Because obviously it's a big decision. Because obviously Ricochet's more of a single star than he is a tag team star. So being in a tag team wouldn't do good for him. Might do, but I like the idea that he's thinking about it, but he needs more time. He can't just wait a week to think about these things. So, but then Drew Gulak, instead of being like, normally he's frustrated, he's like, oh, okay. Maybe he's unnerved because he doesn't see the potential of it. So, got to do the old show, don't tell. So maybe he's got to show that he's a trusted partner. Maybe so. Maybe that might tie into the Royal Rumble. It might not. Maybe. But all I'm saying is eventually this team will happen. Not to like burst the bubble here, but I like the idea that it's like Ricochet's not sure. Because it's like, what benefits can he get from being in a tag team? Because he kind of knows what tag team division is not exactly like the greatest in WWE. He kind of like says, well, I could probably get more success by myself than that kind of stuff, being a tag team. But Drew Gulak's going to find a way to prove it to him. So a possible tag team on the horizon. So that's going to be an interesting thing to find out. We'll see what happens. So after that, we hear from the WWE SmackDown Women's Champion, talking obviously with a big title defense against Naomi later on in the night. That is for 53, very good here. The angle got the crowd hotter. Yeah, I mean it's got that story going on, hopefully. But obviously we hear from the champ. So a lot of people say a lot of things about me. As me as a champion, and they forget that I'm the best in that ring. And when the title is on the line, no one can touch me. And tonight, Naomi, I'm going to prove it. Kind of like the idea that Charlotte's is like no jokes, no cockiness. Just she's laser focused tonight because she feels like she's got something to prove. Because a lot of people have doubted her the last couple of weeks. So, but yeah, so obviously the question, obviously that opportunity will be next. Obviously, it's going to be, we've got a SmackDown Women's Championship match. We've got the challenger Naomi going against the champ Charlotte Flair. Will we get a new champion before Royal Rumble, or is Charlotte Flair going to keep her dominant title reign to continue? So let's find out. So, and still WWE Women's SmackDown Women's Champion in Charlotte Flair for a 44. I mean, yeah, it's pretty good. Obviously, 33 for Naomi, 46, 44. Basically, a good level there. Pretty happy with that. The way I've put this, obviously, I don't think I've put a situation where I think it's put a submission, but I don't want Naomi tapping because I think there's a story there that'd be really cool. So I put this is a good match. Naomi looks good. She had moments where she was going to win the match, but I like the idea that basically Charlotte Flair later on in the match exposed the turnbuckle. So the exposed turnbuckle. Then when the ref is noticing, pushes Naomi into it. She's kind of dazed and out, and then she hits a natural selection for the 1, 2, 3. So she wins, but it's got a. She's kind of cheated to win, so kind of Naomi still looks good. Yeah, so interesting stuff, obviously. So our first title defense, obviously in our save. So, but Naomi looks gracious in defeat. So obviously this is not going to deter her in a way that it just wouldn't happen. So, but she's improved a lot since that first week we had where she got a 14. Definitely done better. So I mean, hopefully I can continue the story. It looks good. It's a good little feud going on. So, but obviously we're talking about maybe next challenges for that WWE SmackDown Women's Champion. Obviously we forget to mention Sasha Banks, and she is next, talking about her ability, wanting to win the title and winning the Women's Royal Rumble for 56. Very good here. By very good show so far. Very good. Everything's hitting what I want them to do, to be fair. So yes, we've got Sasha Banks talking about how her friend put up a hell of a fight tonight against Naomi. Was it against Charlotte Flair? Yeah, Charlotte Flair. And but let's be fair. There's only one person that's taken that title, Charlotte, and it's me, the boss, Sasha Banks. And and she says she's done it before. She can do it again. And at Royal Rumble, she's going to win the Royal Rumble, and she's going to go on to WrestleMania to get her title back. She lost so many months ago. So, but then obviously Sasha, and then just when you think it's the end of the segment, I haven't put it in here, but Shayna Baszler attacks her from behind. Attacks from behind. There's a brawl happening basically, and then you have a situation where these words would be important later on. Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler says, "I'm going to break you," because obviously she got involved in her business. Let them words sink in for what's going to happen next. So obviously after that sets up a match. We've got the boss, Sasha Banks, going against Shayna Baszler in a very tasty, eye-watering match that would be good if it's two submission experts. Who's going to win? And the answer to that question is no one for a 43. Yes, I have done a double count-out draw. When booking it, I did put originally I did put Sasha Banks to win, but then I thought to myself, it doesn't make any sense to Shayna Baszler to kind of lose, because obviously it'd be a submission, and I don't know how you would do it unless it was. I've already done 1 or 2 roll ups, so it wouldn't work. So I like the idea. This is count out, but what I've done here is it's a very technical match. Both try locking submissions, but able to get out of it. But the ending of the match is basically Shayna Baszler's got a sleeper in. And then she's got Sasha Banks on the floor, but then obviously Sasha Banks, he doesn't know that thing when she turns around and goes for a pin attempt, and then the situation of you've got a situation who's going to tap first. Is she going to tap, or is Baszler's shoulders on the mat going to be enough to get the win? And obviously we have a situation where the ref's gone 1, 2, 3, but then doesn't see on the other left Sasha Banks tapping. I know face start tapping, but it kind of the best way you could do it. And obviously the ref kind of situation of she kind of goes to the back. They kind of go and kind of like, no, she won. And kind of have a back and forth with that. So yeah, it's a draw. I mean, you don't see much draws in WWE these days. It's got to be clear cut. I mean, I think draws can work if done well. But then obviously after that, Shayna Baszler is not happy with that result. She is fuming. So obviously after while the ref sort that out, she attacks Sasha Banks yet again for a 37. Ouch. But that's fine. I mean, it's only one of, for the women's stuff, that's the only one this week. That's very impressive. I think I'm happy the match done better than the segment, to be fair. But yes, obviously she attacks her from behind again, and as she did say, she's going to break her. But they didn't say what she would break. Obviously, at this point, she does that thing where she bends her arm, puts her in that position, and then breaks her arm. Sasha Banks writhing in pain. Shayna Baszler looking happy with her actions. So maybe Shayna Baszler's got the advantage. Maybe Sasha Banks goes in with a broken arm. Will that affect her opportunity to win the Royal Rumble? We'll find out obviously at the Royal Rumble. But yeah, for 37, that's fine, I respect. But I'm happy that this is the only thing that's got a lower score. The rest have got pretty good levels. So obviously after that, we hear from the conspirator himself, Sami Zayn. Obviously he took the IC title away from Nakamura last week of what happened. So he's holding a title that isn't his. And we hear from him with obviously this big IC title match later tonight in the show for 63. Very good here. Sami Zayn's very good without the script. Yes, no surprise there. But yeah, it's just talking about him saying he needs this title. And I don't think they want me to win this title, because if I do, I can tell a little home truths about this company and the conspiracy all around on your boy Sami Zayn. But yeah, and it's basically what it is. It's basically him sitting there saying, if I win this belt, I would be able to, my voice would be there'd be no choice but to put me on the show, and there'd be no choice but to listen to what I have to say. So yeah, interesting stuff there. The question is, would he go and win the title? We'll obviously find it out very, very soon. Obviously we do hear from the actual IC champion in Shinsuke Nakamura, talking about how much that title means to him and how he's going to prove it tonight for another 63. Very good here. Again, Patrick Buckwood, whatever his name is. Yeah, need to put him off road duties because he doesn't get a lot. Doesn't do very well apparently. But yeah, Scott Nakamura's on the mic, kind of talking about how the IC matters means everything to him. Obviously, we kind of allude that he's a very decorated IC champion, not in WWE but in general, because as we know he's working New Japan with the Intercontinental title there. So I kind of like the idea that he puts the IC title higher than probably the world title, and it's kind of it's a proof that the pinnacle of hard work and determination, and him having that around his waist means the world to him. And you got someone like Sami Zayn disgracing him by taking the belt that's not his, and also saying that he's using it for not because he wants to be the best, show he's best wrestler, just because he can sprout his conspiracy theory ideas, not because he wants to win it, because he knows he's the best wrestler. He's using it for personal means, and I cannot allow that. And obviously tonight I'm going to reclaim my belt, and I'm going to show people why I deserve to be the Intercontinental Champion, and why this title is the most important title on SmackDown at the moment. And yeah, he's going to show why people rate him, why he's the wrestler of a generation, and why also winning the Intercontinental title, defending his Intercontinental title, he's going to be the person to hold the IC title and the world title at the same time, for a very, very long time. And he's going to win the Royal Rumble. So he's kind of putting that in there. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, interesting stuff here. So obviously we set up that Sami Zayn's got his motives. Nakamura's got his motives. So the question is, who's going to win? Obviously the IC title match between Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn is next. So Sami Zayn, the title he has taken, would that now be property of him after getting the win? Or was Nakamura prove that why he is one of the best wrestlers out there, and prove why he deserves to be IC champion in going forward? So the question is, who's going to win? So let's find out. So, and still WWE IC champion with a 57, pretty good here. I mean, 53 by Nakamura, 46 by Sami Zayn. So pretty, actually performing better than their scores. It's always good. But yes, obviously his first title defense on the game anyway. But yeah, the kind of why I put this match is very similar to their match they had. I wanted it to be like similar to their takeover battle. The first battle, that was one of the epic rivalries. Just point out, they're very epic. But I like the idea that Sami Zayn hits a finisher. just goes to the pin, 1-2, hit a haluba kick. He pins Nakamura 1-2. He kicks out. He's furious because he thinks the ref's against him, conspirating against him, that kind of stuff. But then while he's too busy arguing with the ref, Nakamura recovers from that finisher, turns around, hits the Kinshasa, pins him 1-2-3. He retains his Intercontinental title and gets his title back. But obviously after that, we have a situation of, after that, obviously Nakamura's happy, but Sami Zayn isn't. Obviously, again, he tries to attack him from behind, but obviously it didn't work this time. Obviously, Nakamura stops him. But yes, obviously he fights his way out and he runs to the crowd. And obviously you got Nakamura chasing him, but just when he's gone into the crowd, and the kind of last words Sami Zayn is, "This isn't over." So how that works into the Royal Rumble, we don't know. But yeah, good title defense here, pretty solid match. 57, I'm very happy with that. So obviously now we kind of get to the main event, the crust of the thing I built this whole show around. Is obviously it's a contract signing between Cesaro and Roman Reigns for the Universal title match at the Royal Rumble. So a big long segment to end the show. So let's find out. Obviously so a lot of back and forth things have to be said. Contract signings is two things: a lot of talking and fighting. So see if we get one of those in this one for the end of the show. Yeah, same thing here. Exactly what I actually said. I totally forgot that I put that. But yeah, basically what I said earlier. This happened 55. But yes, now let's go to the main event. That's a cock up on my bad. But next we go to definitely for the contract sided main event for a 47. Yes, this is not great. But I'm fine with it because there's no star power with them fighting. I probably should have put this entertainment. Cock up on my end, but that's fine. It's fine. I think for this, it's more about what I've written more than the actual score, so it's fine. Because obviously I haven't ended with a match. So, but yeah. So obviously I start off here within the contract. The table set up. They both sit there and sign it. Obviously, inside Roman Reigns signs his paper, then he gets the mic and he starts going. Talks about how, you keep saying these things that this show is bad, that I'm like a succubus, sucking the life out of this show. The only problem is, the only thing that's happened to me, the only problem I have is back problems for carrying the show for so long, and you in particular. No one knows who you are. Like you've done absolutely nothing. I mean, what happened to Cesaro? You're on your way becoming a great superstar. You had that backstabbing Paul Heyman on your side. You had everything to succeed, and then nothing. Because you are nothing. Because you are a third-rate, underperforming superstar that puts on a good match once in a while. But when it comes to winning the title matches or getting the title match, you lose. You're a failure. And all these people know it. And by the end of the Royal Rumble match, I will still be your champion. And you can move back to the mediocrity and do nothing in this company. Because you may not like me. But you have to acknowledge me. So, strong words by Roman Reigns there. But obviously Cesaro grabs the mic. Obviously not in anger, not in disgust. Just brings up the mic. And starts saying, "You're right. I have failed. I haven't lived up to my potential. What people expect of me. But funny thing, Roman. Life is all about trying errors. And yeah, I've lost a lot. And it's all about sometimes it's all about mindset. Sometimes I have changed. I'm a lot more focused. The most focused I've been in my entire career. And I have a mission. I have a mission to stop you. And we all know purpose is the most important strength you can ever have. I have a purpose. I have a focus for the first time in a long time. And at Royal Rumble, that focus is going to take that title away from you. So obviously you're back and forth intenseness there, and they both sign the contract at this point, and then obviously Roman kind of attacks Cesaro, takes him out, brawling shawls. But the final shot I want is you got Cesaro hits the neutralizer on Roman Reigns through the table, and then he holds the Universal title up high. Maybe it's signaling that maybe we might have a Universal Champion at the Royal Rumble. But all I'm saying, this is a new Cesaro, and it looks like this focus is doing well for him. So the question is he going to win the Royal Rumble? We'll find out obviously at the Royal Rumble. But yes, obviously that ends the show here. Obviously interesting. We got a 51 last week. I think 51 last week, first week, 47 because of poor booking my bet the week before. So obviously we got a 57 We got a good score on Raw. Let's see if we can end with a good score for SmackDown. I think we should do well, but let's find out what score we get. If we can beat 51, I'll be a very happy person. For 62, the best score that's saved so far. Excellent work here. I think the best match was the IC title match. The women's title match was very good. All the matches really delivered tonight, to be fair. I'm very happy with. Obviously, we've got, was it Drew, 51 there. All good. Everything just kind of clicked this week. Obviously, except for that angle with the 37 there, with Shayna Baszler and Sasha Banks. But again, all the women's matches delivered. All the number 10, all the matches delivered. And maybe the main event, maybe because it was a 15-minute fight. Not going to get a good score, so but yeah, good stuff. Yeah, 6-2, best score we've got so far. I'm happy with it, very, very happy with it. So yeah, new question. So the go home show, the final show before Royal Rumble is done. So it's interesting. Let's find out what happens at the Royal Rumble. So it should be fun. But 6-2, very happy with that. Very, very happy. So yeah, so 62, I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, again, it's the best score we've got so far in the save so far. So very good stuff there. Obviously, very happy that except for obviously that was it Shayna Baszler, Sasha Banks segment that got 37. But again, all the women, everything stood up. The women's matches, the women's title match was good. The number 10 match was good. The IC title match, I've even got to put that on the. I talk about that we had that as a match as well. So yeah, it's good stuff. It's a good build, especially with that ending for the Royal Rumble that I've got big plans for. Got to be honest. It's obviously it's day one was kind of just a little tweak of what it should be. But this is purely going to be a total rebook of everything I've built up here. So it's kind of a big deal for me in general. So it's going to kind of prove that what I've been building towards. So and see if it pans out with a good score and obviously an enjoyment. So yeah, check that out. Different next week. Obviously, this is going to be a plan. Obviously, the new series video structure will be differently when I figure out a time that works. But the plan I've got so far is it's going to be the TV shows are going to be Monday to Friday. But when it comes to pay-per-views, it's going to be a 1 week thing where that week it's just going to be the pay-per-view. So on the shows on Wednesday at 4:30. The Royal Rumble show, my rebook of Royal Rumble will be on my channel. So yeah, check that out. Wednesday, 4:30. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to book it because I want to really see. It's kind of a personal thing to me. It's kind of to prove that yeah, I can book shows up to a pay-per-view and then put on a very good pay-per-view worthy show. So obviously you got for the Royal Rumble, so it should be fun. It should be good. It's kind of exciting. So I look forward to that. So join me on Wednesday at 4:30. As always, if you like what you see, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment as well because I want to see what you think of this lush SmackDown before the Royal Rumble. And so what I'll say is enjoy your weekend, enjoy your Easter weekend. Obviously here in the UK, enjoy that. And yeah, I'll be back on Wednesday for Royal Rumble. So until then, have an awesome weekend and see you guys then. See you everyone. Bye bye.